Tariffs, as you know, will start a week earlier than the reciprocal, which is going to be on a couple of weeks earlier. Reciprocal tariffs start on April 2nd. And I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to go April Fool's Day because that costs a lot of money, but that one day. But so we're going April 2nd. But very importantly, tomorrow tariffs 25% on Canada and 25% on Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. So what they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariffs. In other words, you build, and this is exactly what Mr. Wei is doing, by building here. Otherwise, they'll build, if they did them in Taiwan to send them here, they'll have 25% or 30% or 50% or whatever the number may be someday. It'll go only up. And so I think it's going to be very exciting for the automobile companies. Very exciting for, I can think of any, as an example, North Carolina, they had the great, I used to go there to buy furniture for hotels, and it's been wiped out. That business all went to other countries. And now it's all going to come back into North Carolina, the furniture manufacturing business.
Notice how the president never claimed that his tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China would be exciting for American consumers. He didn't because it won't be. And at this point, it's not that way for businesses either.
Well, but there's just vast confusion. No one knows. I mean, the automakers don't know what this is going to mean. The packaged goods companies don't know what it's mean when it comes from another country. There's no clarity whatsoever. Anyone who thinks that there's clarity is just completely wrong. It isn't like they've said, okay, look, here's the schedule, here's the tariff. Like when you were in Europe and they did Brexit, you got the schedule, you got the tariff. You said, oh, okay, I owe this. They haven't given us anything. We don't know what we owe and what we don't owe. We don't know where it's paid. We don't know if it isn't paid. Do we owe them? Who owes it? Does the buyer owe it? I mean, the lack of any thought about this, David, is stunning.
It is.
This is a huge amount of money involved.
Potentially, yeah.
So not only are Trump's tariffs going to force the daily costs for Americans to continue to rise, but due to the unearned confidence of his cabinet full of unqualified idiots, according to Jim Cramer there, no one knows how these are even being carried out. It's almost like this administration has replaced competency with extreme idiocy.
It's also, it goes beyond that, I think, and obviously we've talked about uncertainty. I mean, we talk about it always, every day for decades, you talk about it, but it is higher now, and, you know, the conversations that I'm having, it's not just, all right, trying to understand and figure this out, and as you say, it's very much opaque. But it's also, well, will it be in effect in 10 days? Will it be in effect in 30 days? Will it be reversed? Will it be increased?
We don't know. It is such a show that it is extraordinary to me that this is America. We don't have any plan.
And you're talking about the product that's incoming. Yesterday, the president posted to farmers to get ready to sell more ag in the United States. He said, have fun.
They can't.
And then this morning, of course, China puts 10 to 15 on pork, on beef, on dairy, on vegetables.
Fruits, any milk products. It goes on from there. Cotton, corn, wheat.
Do you want facts? Because facts are such a bummer right now.
Oh, so facts are suddenly a bummer now that the president has decided to follow through on his cartoonish ideas about tariffs that people wrote off as jokes, trolling, or some kind of genius that every economist was too stupid to realize. Now that his reality has the chance to destroy businesses, jobs, and multiple economies, speaking facts is a bummer. Because before, facts were called Trump derangement syndrome.
A tariff is a tax on a foreign country. That's the way it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's a tax on us. No. It's a tax on a foreign country. It's a tax on a country that's ripping us off and stealing our jobs. And it's a tax that doesn't affect our country. It's not a tax on the middle class. It's a tax on another country. If you look at McKinley, who was actually a great president, he made the country rich. It's probably the richest we ever were, relatively. But he taxed countries for coming in and taking our jobs, for bringing us their product, for taking away our factories because they would make it and come in. And he taxed them. It was called a tariff. And it's not a tax on people. They're stealing from us because they're taking our jobs, they're taking our companies, they're taking our wealth. And that's fine because they have to compete too. But now they're going to have to pay for it. And they'll have to pay, and they'll pay hundreds of billions of dollars in pretty stiff tariffs. We're not going to let people come to build them in Mexico and build cars and sell them in the United States and close up Michigan and South Carolina and other places.
Won't it be more expensive if you
No,
do
it'll
it
be
here?
no, it won't be. It'll be great. It'll be unbelievable. So we'll take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and we're going to make our country so strong and so rich, it will never be so rich. You know, we used to be an all-tariff country in the 1890s, 1880s, 1890s, early 1900s, all tariffs. That was when our country was the richest it ever was. It was never rich like that. It was so rich that they had to set up a commission, the Great Tariff Commission of like 1887.
You know, it's almost like he either didn't know what the hell he was talking about, or he knew that his voters didn't know how easily he was playing them. So regardless, all those economists that were too blind to see Trump's vision are being proven right.
Now, it's not in my habit to agree with the Wall Street Journal, but Donald, they point out that even though you're a very smart guy, this is a very dumb thing to do. We two friends fighting is exactly what our opponents around the world want to see. The U.S. tariffs came into effect in the early hours of this morning, and so did the Canadian response. Canada will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods, starting with tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods immediately, and tariffs on the remaining $125 billion of American products in 21 days' time.
Yeah, it was right in front of our faces for months while he campaigned on screwing everything up based on his extreme, unbridled stupidity and ego. It's left him with only the dumbest allies, willing to still go on TV to try to spin it in a positive direction.
People are freaking out, and the market's freaking out a little bit right now. A lot, I should say, down about 729 points right now. What's your take on why that is, Kevin?
You've got two forces at play here. We're talking about affordability czar because the price of eggs and housing and energy are not showing any signs of declining at this point. And then you've got tariffs could be coming on tomorrow on Mexico and Canada, massive trading partners. And to a certain extent, over the long period of time, they would be inflationary. At the same time, it's a negotiation. Canada is in a bit of a deficit position because they don't have a prime minister. Look, I don't know what the probability is of a punt it till April 2nd, till after the report comes out about the impacts of tariffs on Mexico and Canada. That could happen by midnight. But if they go on, there won't be any immediate change to anything. It'll be a continued negotiation. But these are volatile times, but the outcomes are towards getting back more investment into the U.S.
How long does it take for this tariff situation? I know this isn't an answerable question, really, but what does your gut tell you? Because obviously a lot of what we're seeing, the Dow is at session lows right now, down 787 points. A lot of businesses across America are calibrating this. You know, they buy things from all over the world in order to make their products, and they're trying to figure out what the impact is going to be.
I got a feeling the Canadian deal is going to get worked out probably in the next 90 days. Call it NAFTA 3 accelerated.